I'm very, very lucky because somebody gave me this process for changing a belief, which I thought was amazing. Oh wow, now I can change my deep subconscious programs that have been driving me all this time. So I was given this process, and then I've been able to develop it into the reprogramming, which is a new approach for harmonising the self. So I've used this extensively on myself and on the patterns that I found myself with in my family, which included patterns of depression and patterns even of suicide. And I found myself feeling very distressed one day because my partner had gone off somewhere. He just went off. He had this pattern of just cutting off and going off also, but at that moment I had not yet understood it. And so then I was feeling whatever I was feeling, worried, abandoned, or whatever I was feeling. And I just felt incredibly distressed. And I was like, what's going on? You know, the level of my distress wasn't really matching what was really happening, because I was not in any actual danger. I was in a perfectly comfortable house. I was on my own. I didn't have any immediate needs. You know, there's no lion at the door. And yet I was feeling this great discomfort inside myself, to the degree that I was actually wanting to end it by killing myself. Luckily, I wouldn't actually do that, because I've had experience of the cost that brings to other people and the cost to oneself. So, but what I did do was I got my notebooks and my pens, and I went and sat in the double bed, and I tucked myself up under the covers with my pens and pencil and my writing pad, and I started to write down, okay, so what is it? What is going on with Jelila now? And I just started to write what I was actually feeling and what was really happening to me. And I was like, well, I am having a feeling. I was like, yes. I don't like this feeling. Right. And so I want to jump out the window. I'm like, but you're not going to jump out the window, are you? You know, you're not. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to jump out the window. Okay, I'm not going to jump out the window. That's good, because that would be very unfair on the person that I love and that I'm staying with. Yes, that would be bad to do that. So what am I going to do? And I'm like, oh God, I'm going to just have to feel this feeling, aren't I? So, you know, whatever this feeling is, I'm just going to have to feel it. Damn. And then I was like, right, so actually what I've been trying to do is I just don't want to feel this feeling. So I've just been cutting off from feeling my feelings. So then I was like, okay, so why have I been cutting off from this feeling? Oh, I don't like how it feels. Well, how does it feel? Well, it makes me feel out of control. I feel out of control because I'm having a very strong feeling. So therefore, when I'm having a strong feeling that makes me feel out of control, or when I feel out of control, I cut myself off. I want to cut myself off. I think I've just done it. I think I've just discovered the suicide belief. It was great. So that was wonderful, and that really has changed my life and allowed me to stay with experiences and learn from them instead of running away from them. And it's so much better. But you do have to actually change that belief as a subconscious hidden aspect of yourself in order to be able to do that. So I'll guide you in a moment in how to do that. So now I'm going to guide you in the belief change process. And it's a two-part process. First you'll be imagining balls in your hand containing certain ideas. Then you'll be bringing those different energies together, and that can take some time. So I've made two videos. So one has the beginning process and some time for you to bring your hands together. When you actually get your hands together, you can press for the second video, and that will take you into the ending process of what to do once you've got your hands together. Okay, because the amount of time that it takes to bring your hands together can vary. It depends how much you have to process in your belief system to achieve that. Okay, so to get ready, feel yourself in your body, feel your physical presence, You might like to close your eyes while you're doing this, but please don't drift off completely. And invite your active thinking part of you to be here. And the feeling intuitive one. And the playful one. And the wise one. And any other parts of you, including the baby and the embryo, the disincarnate, the alienated one, any and every part of you. So you're all here now doing this. And hold out your hands, and in one hand imagine a ball that represents any part or parts of you that feel or believe, when I have a strong feeling that makes me feel out of control, or when I feel out of control, I cut myself off. I want to cut myself off. That has judged that as being bad or wrong, or is afraid of it, or concerned about it. And in the other hand, imagine a ball that represents the part or parts of you that don't feel or believe like that. So you don't need to know exactly what's in the second ball, just that you can feel it or sense it in your own way. And when you're ready, begin to gently bring the balls together. Now, they may feel quite different. One might be heavy, or one might be lighter, or some other sensation. That's okay. And just gently begin to bring the balls together. And in between your hands, you'll most likely feel energy. People often comment, oh, it's like there's a football there or something. That's all the energy that you've been living with, all the resistance that you've been living with to this idea. And you may also have feelings in your body. You might feel energy moving. If you do, you can use the open mouth breath like this, just to release the energy. And you might like to imagine that you're breathing out through your heart. Just gently bring your hands together. And you may have emotions come up. You might find that you're crying or even howling as you release some of these things. And that's okay. Just allow yourself to have whatever response you have. It's fine. The other thing that can happen is you might realise something or remember something. You might see the face of somebody that you knew, or even somebody that you don't know. These are just all ancient memories from this lifetime, from past lifetimes, ancient belief systems, as you change a deep and powerful idea. When you change a deep idea, it's a bit like if I opened a big channel in the rice field so that the water could suddenly flow through this huge new area that it couldn't flow through before. So the energy will flow through huge whole areas of your neural pathways in ways that it couldn't before, changing how you process information and hugely changing what's possible for you. You might feel tingling in your hands or hotness, all kinds of funny sensations can happen. It's the energy moving in your body, in your auric field, in your chakras, the energy that you carry around with you. It's like your personal truth, and the universe is always looking at your energy, and it will reflect to you experiences that feel the same way as the energy you have around you. It's like your charisma, it attracts things that feel the way that you feel. Some people like to blow on their hands. You can do that if you like. And gradually bring your hands together. When you get your hands together, bring them all the way together so that your palms touch. That's how you know that you've fully released all of this pattern, all of this old belief idea. And you might still feel some movement in your body. You might still feel the energy moving around. I feel it quite a lot in my body, even though I've changed this one before. And in actual fact, it's permanent. When you change a belief like this, it's like experiential learning. It's like when you learn something from an experience. But actually what we're doing now is we're relearning something from an experience that wasn't properly learned at the time. So it was an experience that you had when, instead of learning the real truth, which would be something like, it's safe to go through every experience, something like that, you learned this other truth, which was what's led to you not being able to learn and not being able to get the real benefit out of your experiences. And it's worse than that, actually, because it results in you cutting off from all your feelings. When you cut off from all your feelings, you're like a rudderless boat. You've got nothing to guide you. All you can do is think and do things, which is, hopeless. So allow it to finally settle. And notice the feeling in your hands. If it has finally settled, you'll be able to notice the feeling in your hands. If it hasn't, you can't quite, or if they still feel hot or fizzy or something, then it's just telling you it hasn't quite finished. And just like if I opened that big channel on the rice field and all the water had to flow through a big network, it would take a certain amount of time for it to do that, and you couldn't make it go faster if you wanted. So you just have to wait. And if you get a headache or anything, it means that there's stuck energy in that part of you. So just send breath to that part of you. Imagine you're breathing out through your head or wherever it is that it feels a bit stuck. Stuck emotions and stuck old experiences create stuck energy, and that makes like stagnation, and that's not good for you. It can result in disease. So it's always good to get it all moving. It can take up to half an hour to integrate a belief. That's about the longest I think it's ever taken. No, I tell a lie, it did take an hour once. These are very powerful. They may seem very simple because it's just a few words, but they're very, very powerful. Deep, deep ideas in your belief system. And your belief system's like a tree. When you change an idea that's like at the root of the tree, it affects all the other branches and the limbs and all the twigs. And it's a lot of reprocessing that your system, that your network of understanding, the energy around you, that it has to do. So it takes time. And it's so worth it. You only have to do this once for each belief. It's not like affirmations. Affirmations are often where you're actually telling your system something that it doesn't really believe. So they can actually cause more harm than good. So in other words, if your affirmation is I am happy, then it means, oh, why would you need to say that unless you're unhappy? So then you'd be better off just saying, well, yeah, actually I feel really unhappy. And that would only take you a moment, and it would be much more effective and it would be permanent. So notice the feeling in your hands as it's settled. Allow it to settle. and notice the feeling in your hands. Does it feel okay or neutral? And if it feels okay, then you can put it in your heart. So just put the palms of your hand on your heart, put it in there. And you now have a new positive belief, which in this case it's something like it's safe that I'm alive. So it's only when we're feeling that our experiences are dangerous that we want to cut off, I guess, to get out of them. So if you've got all the way to here with this video, then well done. You've released an extremely powerful idea, and the result will be that you'll be able to stay with your feelings. So be aware that you might feel different in situations, and notice and practice and allow, oh yes, I'm going to just stay with this feeling. Notice what your feelings are, allow them to be okay, and they won't hang around in your system then, they'll just pass through you in the way that actually they're intended to. It's only when you block a feeling that you actually conversely end up feeling it forever. So just let your feelings flow. Oh, it's a feeling, great. So if you've got this far, then you don't need to push the button for the other video, because that's the ending of the process for those who are able to process this belief a bit more quickly.